Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your boy again, Zach. I'm happy for we are back again, Code Zone. Thank you so much for the last video, and I'm so excited to keep showing you some of skills that we can learn together. Please, guys, give me some recommendation. Today, we're going to work on the other question on 8q level, and if you guys feel like I could proceed or I could do something different, please write in the comment. I'll be happy to share with you my skills, and yeah, let's see where it goes. So today will be the last time I'm gonna work on 8q. I hope you guys have practice and learn and see how it works. Then next time we'll be working on 7q and 6q. Yeah, we'll be growing with time. So yeah, so let's go as usual. Filter our question. You click on practice, then you go in sort. We choose the popular question, and then language, you can choose it while you're about to solve the question. Then we choose the approved one, and the progress. So the progress, by default, we haven't solved many questions, we just solved one so far. So the difficulty, we are now on 8q. So if I click outside, you can see here on the list I will only have the list of 8q. So you see the one we solved last time is checked already, right? So yeah, so this time I hope you guys have solved maybe one of these. Try it on your own if you're a beginner, because I'm like considering this maybe for beginner or someone who want to do some practice about JavaScript. So today I think let's go with the reverse string and solve it together. It's a basic level, like a beginner level. So if you are advanced, you can go and choose the next level and try it on your own. Yeah, but if you have other comment or recommendation, please reach out to me and write in comment, and I would like to reply and have interaction with you guys. So yeah, so this question seems to be easy, understandable, just one sentence. It is saying complete the solution so that it reverses the string passed into it, right? So very easy and clear. So down here you can see they even give you some similar kata. So if you want to advance on string or on about how to reverse string, you can solve this question here down here. So yeah, so let's go. If you remember when we're about to solve the solution, when you like it here, you click on train, right? If you don't, you can go to the next kata, or you can return back where you started, right? So let's go to the train so we can solve the solution. And yeah, here is our wonderful clear editor where we're gonna be writing our code. And as I told you, once you're about to solve this solution, this question, they have code worm. Most of time it's better to kind of take a look in tests, sample tests that provide to you, so that you can see like what will be the input and what will be the output, right? So it's even help like for advanced question. You will see in the future that sometimes the details are not clear to understand that easily, and you need to go and just see the test and what was the result and try to kind of prove it on your own and see through the steps, right? So yeah, so we start as a usual way. Every time we're gonna solve a question, the matter here is about the thinking process, the coding. How do we think? How do we approach? How do we write codes in different ways, right? So yeah, so the first step here will be thinking about what are we going to do. We're going to put in strings. So we have input as usual, which is a string, and we have output, which is a reverse string, right? So now we know the input and output is easy to understand. We got to think about what is the logic. So you now have okay, if I put in this function a string, I need to return back a reverse string. So how am I going to do that, right? So the first easy approach someone could think might be something like, how about I have a string, let's say maybe hey, right? And I need this hey to return back. I don't know how to read this, right? But this is a reversed one, right? Yeah, so when we are about to reverse this, the way we're gonna think about it, how about I loop through? So if I loop in this string, I can start from H, E, Y, right? But if I loop through, then the output will be, that means I have A, then I have hey, right? And I loop, I get H for the first loop, then I get E, then I get Y, right? So I will get the same word, right? But what if I loop in a reverse way? So I start from the end because I need to reverse my string, right? So that means if I have hey, then I loop it in reverse approach, I will have Y, E, and H, right? So now I got the reversed word that I'm looking for. So that means in my thinking process, I'm like, oh, if I loop from backside, I'll be able to reverse my string, right? So now let's try that one. That is the first way or the first approach, right? So I can loop from backside. So you might think, how do we loop a string then? Because normally most of time the lists in some languages or arrays are the one, like if you have maybe array of numbers, right? It's easy to loop through them, start from the beginning or start from the end, right? But the good chance, luckily, in JavaScript, strings are considered as arrays, right? Yeah, it's arrays, and it's possible that you can loop through strings. That's a good chance. But if you want to go for a hard way, like for sake of practice, it is even possible to change string into what? Into an array, right? So we can use a method in JavaScript called split, right? We can split our string and then make it into an array. But yeah, that is a hard way, and we want to learn how to do clean code and efficient code. So I would prefer that we go for the first approach of looping a string without changing it into an array. So what do we do? Let me scroll up a bit so we can see very well. So what we do will be to loop, right? But while I will be looping, I will need somewhere I will be storing my string, right? Because I will loop, yes, then what will happen? I will loop, let's say, to have a certain variable that will hold my string, okay? So that means if I have, say, let reverse, that will start to be empty because I want it to be holding my string while I'm looping, right? So now we're going to loop from backside, right? So I'll use for loop as usual in JavaScript, right? For let I equal to 0. If I say equal to 0, that will be wrong, right? Because by index, if you start from H0, that means we're starting with H. Instead, we want to get to Y, right? That means we start from the last alphabet. So that means instead of starting from 0, I will start from, my function input will be is str. So I start with str.length minus 1, right? That is the last index, of my alphabet. That means if we consider hey as our string, so we are now on this position, right? So after that, I will create a condition, and my condition will say while I is greater or equal to 0. Why? Because I have to loop from the end up to the beginning, up to 0 index. That's why I have to put this equal. And then I will, because I is in the beginning larger, I'll be minimizing it while I will be looping, right? And then, as you can see, if I now, what the idea I can do here, I can take, because this is not an array, it's a variable, but we have something we call append in JavaScript, where I can take my reverse, right, which is initially empty, and I append the string of I, because I'm starting at the end. In the array in JavaScript, if you are accessing, like if you have an array of number, like here I say 1 2 3 4 5, and I want to access a value at a specific position, let's say a value at position 0, this array, maybe it's called R will be R of 0, right? R of 0 is this value, right? So that's why I'm appending str of I. That means I'm taking a value from the end and append it to reverse, which was initially empty, right? That means after we loop, our loop is done, we can return what? We can return the reverse. Okay, so I think this one will be able to do what? Will be able to give us a reverse string. But before we return it, we can even console it to first check and see. Okay, so if I console, so you can even learn how to console, I will run my test to be sure, right? So it will fail by automatic because first I'm not returning, and the expected should be return the reverse string, but I will be able to see, right? I'll be able to see, like, am I returning what is expected? Because this is in my console, right? In my log. So they are saying this is what you have in your log, but what you returned and defined, that was expected to be equal to this. So as you can see, my log value is similar to what expected. So that means if I return this expected or consoled variable, which is reverse, I think I'll be able to pass my basic test. Yes, so we passed the test. Now you can't have point yet, except if even the attempt has passed. So now you see we got 4 marks. So how many points you have so far? I would like to know in the comment. Please share to us if you are new, and if you have any suggestion, recommendation, how you can improve this, how you can learn more from me, I would like to hear your comment, please. Yeah, so now, as we usual, now they give us a chance. You may take your time to refactor, comment your solution. So we can refactor this solution because yes, we were trying to understand and we approached with the first ideal or the first solution came in our mind, but is there any way we can make it more clean? So the first way, these are, I would say, the explanation or pseudocode, steps for you to solve the solution, right? To solve the question. Then if I remove them to make my code more cleaner, and then what else I would do? Maybe here I would like to create another variable, call it for example n, that will hold the position of my last value, right? So if I cut it and put it here, and then we put n here, I think this might be look more cleaner. You can try another way. There's always ways and ways. So if you want to learn the same, and you can attempt it, but still, is this the only way of approaching this question? Write in a comment. Is there any other way differ from this way? So I can provide one way which is really quicker, but I will be using JavaScript method, and this one is kind of like a quickest one, which is there's a method designed for reversing an array in JavaScript, right? So we can use that to reverse it straight. So what I can do, I'm gonna apply it, but I would like you guys to also post where another way you think we can do this. There's other ways, and I would like to learn from you guys and hear from you. So other ways, we might also take our string and split it, right? So the split I'm doing here is turning it to an array. So after I split it, I can apply the reverse. So once I apply the reverse, now my array is reversed. So maybe to show what is going on here, I can console. I will show you the console result, right? So the split is turning it to an array. Maybe I can put it in console so you can see what's going on, right? It's console.log str.split, right? So if I split now and I run, you can see in my log, you see we have an array of world, right? In our test, the first word is world, right? So this is now in form of an array, and now because it's an array, I can apply the reverse method. So we need here to first turn it into an array. If you don't turn it into an array, it will not, the reverse method will not work. So if I apply reverse, you can see Now my world is reversed but still in an array format. So D is now the first, W is the last. So now I also need to return back. It's reversed, but I need to return a string, not an array. So I will use a method called join in JavaScript, and this join will return it back to what? Return back to string. So you can see now we have LROW, right? The same like to the result. So this one also can be returned, right? And yeah, this is refactor or improving the code or trying other approach. That's how you learn, right? So I think now it passed. So if you attempt, boom, the shorter solution, right? So I can submit this one. As usual, I have 4 points so far. I would like to know how many you have. We will just keep improving time with time. I hope we even reach in FASTQ if possible. So this is the solution that have got a lot of stars, and you know, most people really like it. So you can see it's the last solution. It's a clever solution and best practice solution. Yeah. So thank you so much, guys. I encourage you to keep practice and communicate with me if you have anything you think you can learn together. And please write in the comment, like, subscribe, and share with your friend. I appreciate it. Thank you so much and have a wonderful time. Bye bye.